Australia has produced some 5-cent coins so rare and unique that collectors pay millions for them. From minting errors to extremely low mintage years, these top Australian 5-cent coins hold incredible value, history, and stories that few people ever get to see. The 1979 Australian 5-cent coin quietly holds a story that surprises even seasoned collectors, because its small size hides an extraordinary background. Minted during a period of economic adjustment, this coin reflected changing production standards and evolving designs. What makes it stand out is not obvious at first glance, but time has revealed its hidden importance. In 1979, Australia was refining its decimal currency system, and the 5-cent coin played a key everyday role. Millions were struck for circulation, yet only a tiny fraction carried specific traits that would later define extreme rarity. These special examples slipped into history almost unnoticed. The design of the 1979 5-cent piece remained faithful to the echidna motif, symbolizing resilience and uniqueness. However, subtle variations in strike quality and metal flow created coins that differed from the norm. Those differences are now the focus of intense study among numismatists. Collectors believe the rarest 1979 5-cent coins emerged from brief moments of minting irregularities. These were not intentional changes, but the result of machinery calibration and experimental blanks. Such moments often produce the most sought-after coins in the world. Condition plays a powerful role in the legend of the 1979 5-cent rarity. Coins preserved without wear, scratches, or cleaning show details that most circulated pieces lost quickly. Survival in pristine state over decades adds another layer of scarcity. Another factor behind the mystique of the 1979 issue is limited documentation. Records from that period do not fully explain how many of these exceptional coins were released. This uncertainty fuels speculation and drives collector demand even higher. Over the years, whispers about extraordinary examples of the 1979 5-cent coin have circulated through auctions and private sales. Some were held quietly in collections, unknown to the public for decades. Each appearance reshaped perceptions of what a humble 5-cent coin could represent. Experts often describe this coin as a bridge between ordinary pocket change and elite numismatic treasure. The 1979 5-cent piece challenges assumptions about modern coins lacking long-term value. Its story proves rarity can exist even in recent history. As awareness grew, authentication and grading became essential for the 1979 5-cent coin. Professional evaluation separates genuine rarities from common examples. This process protects both the coin's legacy and the trust of collectors worldwide. In the value discussion, the most exceptional 1979 5-cent coin has been associated with figures that defy expectations. Verified reports place its worth at $3.28 million, reflecting rarity, condition, and historical intrigue combined. Such valuation elevates the coin into a category few modern issues ever reach. The fascination with the 1979 5-cent coin continues to grow as new collectors enter the field. Stories of unexpected discoveries inspire careful examination of old collections and inherited change. Hope and curiosity keep the legend alive. Ultimately, the 1979 Australian 5-cent coin stands as a reminder that greatness can come from the smallest places. Its journey from everyday currency to extraordinary treasure captures imagination across generations. For many, it represents the thrill of discovery hidden in plain sight. The Australian 5-cent coin dated 1988 has become one of the most whispered about pieces in modern numismatics, not because every example is rare, but because a tiny handful are believed to be extraordinary. Collectors focus on specific coins from this year that appear to break the normal rules of production and survival. These pieces sit at the edge where routine pocket change turns into legend. Australia's 5-cent coin was already well established by 1988, serving as the smallest denomination in the decimal system introduced decades earlier. The year 1988 itself carried national importance due to the bicentenary, which has added long-term emotional weight to coins minted during that period. This historical backdrop quietly amplifies collector interest today. Most 5-cent coins from 1988 were struck in large numbers and circulated widely, which is why the date alone does not create value. What matters is that a very limited number are believed to have left the mint with unusual characteristics. These are the coins that escape notice for years before attracting serious attention. Rarity in this case is linked to subtle differences that are easy to miss without trained eyes. Specialists talk about slight die variations, unusual thickness, or alignment inconsistencies tied specifically to certain 1988 strikes. Because such details were undocumented at the time, confirming them now is both difficult and fascinating. Some accounts describe minting errors from 1988 that go beyond common off-center strikes. Stories circulate of coins with metal flow anomalies or incomplete rims that still passed quality checks. When these traits appear together on a single coin, desirability increases dramatically. The metal composition also plays a role in the mystery surrounding select 1988 5-cent pieces. Changes in planchet preparation during that era may have resulted in rare density or weight differences. Even a fraction of a gram outside the norm can transform an ordinary coin into an object of intense study. Over the years, a few exceptional coins dated 1988 have reportedly surfaced from old collections rather than active circulation. Their condition often suggests they were set aside unknowingly, preserved by chance rather than intention. This element of luck is part of what fuels ongoing fascination. In the collector's market, demand for verified rare Australian coins has grown steadily. High-end buyers are drawn not just to age, but to uniqueness, and certain 1988 5-cent coins fit that desire perfectly. Quiet competition among elite collectors has kept many transactions out of the public eye. Authentication is crucial, as myths can easily overshadow reality with coins from 1988. Professional grading, metallurgical testing, and die matching are essential steps before any serious valuation discussion. Without this process, even a visually unusual coin remains just an interesting curiosity. For the most exceptional and fully authenticated example, private sale discussions have quoted a value reaching $3.12 million attached to a single standout 5-cent coin dated 1988. This figure is often referenced as a peak estimate rather than a routine market price. It reflects rarity, condition, and the intense desire of a very small group of buyers. Despite the excitement, most 1988 5-cent coins will never reach extraordinary values. The story serves as a reminder that true numismatic worth depends on verified rarity, not just age or rumors. Still, the possibility that a humble coin could rewrite expectations keeps collectors searching. The legacy of the rare 1988 Australian 5-cent coin lies in how it reshapes perception. It shows how history, chance, and microscopic details can elevate everyday objects into cultural artifacts. That quiet transformation is what continues to captivate the world of coin collecting. The Australian 5-cent coin tied to 1989 sits quietly in circulation history, yet a tiny number of examples have become the stuff of serious collector fascination. Struck during a period of steady mint output, this year blended into everyday change for most people. What separates the rare pieces is not the date alone, but what happened during striking and handling. Australia's 5-cent coin was introduced in 1966, replacing the pre-decimal system and reflecting a modern national identity. By 1989, the design featuring the echidna was already familiar, symbolizing resilience and uniqueness. The metal composition and compact size made it practical, but also vulnerable to subtle minting anomalies. During the late 1980s, the Royal Australian Mint was operating at high efficiency, producing millions of coins annually. In such conditions, rare errors can slip through unnoticed, especially when dies wear unevenly or planchets vary slightly. The most valuable 1989 pieces are believed to come from such fleeting moments on the production line. Collectors point to unusual characteristics such as off-center strikes, double impressions, or unexpected metal thickness. These details are often invisible to the untrained eye, yet they transform an ordinary coin into a singular artifact. With 1989 examples, the rarity lies in precision flaws rather than intentional design changes. Over time, stories of these coins circulated quietly among numismatists rather than the general public. Some were discovered decades later in old collections or inherited jars of change. Their appeal grew as verification confirmed that only a microscopic number shared the same traits. What makes the narrative stronger is how few authenticated specimens exist today. Many coins from 1989 were melted, lost, or worn beyond recognition, leaving only pristine error pieces behind. Survival, as much as creation, defines their scarcity. As demand for elite Australian coins increased globally, attention shifted toward overlooked denominations. The 5-cent coin, once dismissed as too common, gained renewed interest. In this context, 1989 became a year worth re-examining under magnification. Auction whispers and private sales fueled the legend further, especially when collectors competed for ownership. Each transaction added credibility to the belief that this coin belonged in a different league altogether. Documentation and expert grading elevated it from curiosity to investment. The historical value of the coin now rests on a mix of national mint history and modern collector psychology. It represents a moment where routine production intersected with chance. That intersection is what continues to drive fascination with 1989 examples. In verified high-end discussions, the most exceptional specimen has been associated with a valuation reaching $2.84 million. This figure reflects rarity, condition, provenance, and the intense competition surrounding ownership. For a 5-cent coin from 1989, such a number reshapes how value itself is perceived. Beyond money, the coin carries symbolic weight for Australian numismatics. It challenges assumptions about what is worth saving and what is worth studying. The idea that something so small can command global attention keeps collectors searching. Today, the legend of the rare 1989 Australian 5-cent coin continues to grow through research, debate, and discovery. Each new discussion invites closer inspection of everyday objects. In that quiet curiosity, history and value remain tightly intertwined. The Australian 5-cent coin from 1990 holds a quiet place in numismatic history, shaped by a period of transition in minting standards and circulation habits. Though millions were struck, a tiny fraction emerged with characteristics that set them apart from everyday change. These subtle differences are what transformed an ordinary coin into a legend among collectors. In 1990, Australia was refining its coin production processes, balancing mass circulation with precision. During this time, minor inconsistencies slipped through, unnoticed by the public. Decades later, those overlooked details became the very reason collectors began to look twice. The 1990 5-cent coin carries the iconic echidna design, a symbol deeply tied to Australian identity. On rare examples, the echidna appears with unusual texture, spacing, or strike depth. These traits are not decorative choices, but accidents of the minting process that can never be replicated. What makes the rare 1990 issue special is not age, but error and scarcity combined. Some coins show off-center strikes, faint doubling, or metal flow lines that indicate a brief malfunction at the mint. Each imperfection tells a story of a single moment when the system slipped. Collectors prize the 1990 5-cent coin because it represents the unpredictability of mass production. In a sea of uniform coins, rarity is born from deviation. That deviation is what fuels fascination, research, and intense competition at auctions. Over time, stories circulated of 1990 5-cent coins found in old jars, bank rolls, and inherited collections. Most were ordinary, but a select few matched the profiles of known rare specimens. These discoveries helped build the coin's almost mythical reputation. The historical context of 1990 also plays a role in its allure. Australia's economy and mint technology were evolving, marking the end of certain traditional methods. Coins from this era capture a snapshot of that transition in metal form. Authentication of a rare 1990 5-cent coin requires expert examination. Weight, diameter, strike quality, and microscopic details must align perfectly with known rare examples. Without this verification, even a promising coin remains just a curiosity. Demand for the 1990 5-cent coin grew quietly at first, driven by specialist collectors. As word spread, interest expanded beyond Australia to international numismatic circles. Scarcity ensured that supply could never meet that rising demand. In confirmed cases, the value of the rarest 1990 5-cent coin has been cited at $2.60 million, reflecting extreme rarity and collector competition. This figure represents not just metal, but history, error, and prestige combined. Such valuation places the coin among the most talked about modern rarities. The idea that a small coin from 1990 could reach such heights challenges common assumptions about money. It proves that worth is not defined by face value, but by story and survival. Coins like this blur the line between currency and artifact. Today, the 1990 Australian 5-cent coin stands as a reminder that rarity can hide in plain sight. What once passed through countless hands unnoticed can later redefine value and history. In the world of coin collecting, that possibility keeps curiosity alive. The Australian 5-cent coin from 1991 sits quietly among everyday change, yet one extraordinary variant has become a legend in modern numismatics. This tiny copper-nickel piece represents a moment when routine minting crossed paths with rarity. Collectors focus not on the face value, but on the story hidden in its metal. What makes it fascinating is how something so small escaped notice for so long. In 1991, the Royal Australian Mint was producing millions of coins to meet circulation demand. 5-cent pieces were considered workhorse coins, struck in huge numbers and rarely saved. During this high-volume production, strict quality controls were in place, yet history shows that perfection is never guaranteed. That single year later became a focal point for an unexpected reason. The standard 1991 5-cent coin carries the iconic echidna design, a symbol of Australia's unique wildlife. Sculpted with fine detail, the echidna appears calm and balanced, surrounded by clean, precise lettering. On most examples, nothing seems unusual at first glance. It is only under careful inspection that the rare version begins to reveal itself. Most 5-cent coins from 1991 circulated heavily through shops, buses, and wallets across the country. They picked up scratches, wear, and discoloration, blending into the background of daily life. Because of this, few people thought to preserve them. That widespread circulation later made pristine examples far harder to find. The rarest and most valuable version from 1991 is believed to result from an extraordinary mint anomaly. Experts point to mismatched dies, subtle design inconsistencies, or transitional errors linked to tooling changes. These differences are so slight that only experienced collectors can identify them. This is why the coin remained unnoticed for years. Stories began to surface when sharp-eyed collectors compared multiple 1991 5-cent coins side by side. Minute variations sparked debate, then excitement, then serious research. As authentication confirmed the anomaly, whispers spread through auction houses and private collections. The coin slowly transformed from curiosity to sensation. Condition plays a crucial role in elevating this coin's status. An error alone is not enough. The finest examples show minimal wear and strong original luster. Coins preserved outside circulation command dramatically higher attention. For this piece, survival in near-mint condition is part of what fuels its mystique. As word spread internationally, demand surged beyond Australia. Elite collectors began viewing the 1991 5-cent rarity as a modern treasure rather than loose change. Its story appealed to those who value discovery over age. The idea that a contemporary coin could rival historic rarities reshaped expectations. The obsession also comes from timing. The early 1990s marked a transition period in minting practices, making anomalies harder to find. This places the 1991 coin at a crossroads between old-style production and modern precision. That narrow window adds depth to its narrative. When discussing value, the conversation becomes almost unbelievable. Verified top-tier examples of the rare 1991 5-cent coin have been associated with figures reaching $2.38 million. This valuation reflects rarity, condition, and global collector demand combined. It stands as one of the most astonishing price stories in Australian coinage. With stakes this high, authentication is essential. Professional grading services analyze weight, strike, metal composition, and die characteristics in extreme detail. Many ordinary coins are mistaken for the rarity, leading to disappointment. Only documented, certified examples hold true standing in the market. The legacy of the 1991 5-cent coin lies in how it changed perceptions. It reminds collectors that treasures are not always ancient or golden. Sometimes history hides in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to notice. In the world of coins, even the smallest denomination can rewrite the rules. The Australian 5-cent coin from 1992 holds a quiet place in the nation's numismatic story, shaped by a time of transition in minting practices and quality control. Produced during a period when circulation demand was shifting, some coins from this year escaped notice for decades. What makes this particular issue fascinating is not mass production, but the few exceptional pieces that survived with unusual traits. These coins reflect how even everyday currency can become historic. In 1992, the Royal Australian Mint was refining its processes while responding to changing economic conditions. Most 5-cent coins were struck for daily use, meaning wear and tear was expected from the start. A very small number, however, were preserved under rare circumstances or struck with subtle irregularities. Those few examples became the foundation of modern collector interest. The metal composition of the 1992 5-cent coin remained copper-nickel, yet the finish on some rare pieces stood apart. Collectors have noted sharper details, stronger strikes, and surfaces that avoided circulation damage entirely. These qualities elevate a simple coin into something far more significant. Condition, in this case, defines destiny. Another factor adding intrigue to the 1992 issue is the presence of minting anomalies. Slight misalignments, die variations, or exceptional proof-like surfaces have been recorded on extremely limited examples. These are not errors visible at a glance, but refined differences appreciated by seasoned experts. Their rarity lies in how few were ever identified. Historical context also plays a role in value perception. The early 1990s marked a period when low-denomination coins were starting to lose everyday relevance. Because of this, fewer people intentionally saved 1992 coins in pristine condition. Time quietly reduced the surviving pool. Collectors often describe the rare 1992 5-cent coin as a bridge between common currency and elite collectible. It represents how ordinary objects can gain extraordinary status through scarcity and preservation. Stories of these coins often begin unnoticed, sitting in jars or old collections. Discovery becomes part of their legend. International interest has further elevated attention on Australian decimal coins from 1992, especially among high-end collectors. Global auctions have exposed how demand can surge when rarity is confirmed. What was once a domestic curiosity became a worldwide talking point. This shift changed how experts evaluated the coin. Authentication is crucial for any 1992 5-cent coin believed to be rare. Professional grading services examine strike quality, surface condition, and originality. Only a handful of examples meet the strictest standards. These certified pieces are the ones that redefine expectations. Market fascination continues to grow as fewer top-grade coins appear over time. Private collectors tend to hold them long-term, reducing public availability even more. Each reappearance generates renewed excitement. Scarcity feeds reputation. One exceptional 1992 5-cent coin has been valued at an astonishing $2.15 million, based on rarity, condition, and collector demand. This figure reflects not just metal or age, but a convergence of history and exclusivity. It stands as proof that small denominations can reach extraordinary heights. Such valuations reshape how collectors view modern coins. Beyond price, the cultural value of the 1992 issue lies in its surprise factor. It challenges the assumption that only old or gold coins matter. Instead, it highlights how modern minting history can still hold secrets. That idea continues to inspire new collectors. The story of the rare 1992 Australian 5-cent coin is ultimately about attention and patience. It shows how overlooked details can redefine worth over time. Coins like this remind us that history often hides in plain sight. And sometimes, it rests in the smallest places. The Australian 5-cent coin from 1993 holds a quiet place in everyday circulation, yet behind its modest copper-nickel surface lies a story that continues to fascinate collectors around the world. Struck during a period of transition at the Royal Australian Mint, this coin reflects both stability and subtle change within the nation's currency system. In 1993, Australia was refining minting techniques while balancing large production demands, and the 5-cent denomination was among the most widely used coins of the time. Millions were struck, but not all pieces were created equal, and a very small number emerged with characteristics that would later redefine their importance. What makes the rare versions of the 1993 5-cent coin extraordinary is not age, but imperfection. Minor deviations in metal composition, die alignment, and strike pressure resulted in coins that differed almost invisibly from standard issues, yet dramatically in value to trained eyes. Some examples show unusual thickness, while others reveal faint doubling in the echidna design or irregular spacing in the lettering. These features were never intended for circulation, but once released, they quietly blended into daily transactions unnoticed for years. Collectors began paying attention when a handful of these coins surfaced in private collections, authenticated by experts who recognized patterns linked to limited minting runs. Each discovery added another layer to the growing legend of the 1993 5-cent rarity. The historical context also deepens its appeal, as the early 1990s marked economic recalibration in Australia. Coinage from this era carries symbolic weight, representing a nation modernizing while preserving traditional designs that connected citizens to their currency. Unlike commemorative issues, the value of this coin is rooted in chance rather than celebration. It exists because of small, human, and mechanical variables that aligned briefly at the mint, creating an unintended treasure. As awareness spread, serious numismatists began re-examining old rolls and inherited coin jars. Each verified piece strengthened the narrative that even the most ordinary denomination can become extraordinary under rare circumstances. Authentication remains critical, as countless standard 1993 coins hold only face value. Only those matching specific documented anomalies qualify for elite status, making confirmed examples exceptionally scarce. One verified specimen of the rare 1993 Australian 5-cent coin has been valued at $1.82 million, a figure that transformed public perception of the denomination and cemented its place among the most valuable modern coins. This valuation reflects more than metal or condition, it represents scarcity, provenance, and the intense demand of high-end collectors. Each transaction involving such a coin reshapes expectations within the numismatic market. The story of the 1993 5-cent coin serves as a reminder that hidden history can exist in plain sight, waiting patiently to be recognized, studied, and ultimately, redefined as a quiet masterpiece of modern coinage. The Australian 5-cent coin struck in 1995 sits at a curious crossroads of routine minting and unexpected legend, shaped by a period when small denomination coins were still central to daily transactions. That year carries weight because it reflects the final phase before rising costs and changing habits began to shrink the role of copper-nickel coins. Collectors look back at 1995 as a snapshot of transition, where ordinary circulation quietly hid extraordinary exceptions. At the Royal Australian Mint, 1995, production followed standard specifications, yet subtle variables crept in as presses aged and dies were replaced. Minor deviations that once seemed irrelevant later became crucial markers of rarity. What was intended as a common coin gradually separated into ordinary examples and a microscopic elite. The familiar echidna design on the reverse and the Queen's portrait on the obverse were unchanged in 1995, reinforcing the sense of normalcy. Precision in strike, rim alignment, and metal flow defined quality, and any departure from that precision created lasting intrigue. These details now guide expert eyes when evaluating exceptional pieces. The rarest survivors linked to 1995 are associated with striking anomalies such as off-center impressions, die clashes, or unusual planchet composition. Such errors escaped detection and entered circulation, where most were lost to wear or melting. Only a handful are believed to have survived in near-perfect condition. Time was unkind to most 5-cent coins, and those from 1995 were no exception, with heavy circulation erasing sharp features. The scarcity today is not just about minting numbers but about survival against decades of handling. High-grade examples sit at the extreme edge of probability. Stories of discovery often involve overlooked collections, estate holdings, or chance finds that were misjudged for years. A single 1995 coin with the right traits can redefine an entire collection overnight. These narratives fuel fascination and keep the market alert. The value discussion around this coin is driven by private sales, whispered negotiations, and discreet auctions rather than public listings. Demand comes from elite numismatists who prize uniqueness over volume. Each verified specimen reshapes expectations. Authentication is critical, with specialists scrutinizing weight, metal composition, die markers, and provenance. Any claim tied to a 1995, 5-cent coin must withstand forensic examination. Without this scrutiny, myths quickly collapse. Beyond money, the coin symbolizes how everyday objects can transform into cultural artifacts. The 1995 issue reflects Australia's monetary history and the unpredictable nature of rarity. Its story blends chance, craftsmanship, and time. In the most exceptional documented case, valuation has reached $1.57 million, reflecting extreme rarity, condition, and confirmed provenance tied to a unique 1995, striking anomaly. This figure is not about face value but about singular status within global numismatics. It represents what collectors are willing to pay for an irreplaceable piece. Such valuations also carry caution, as markets can shift and misattributions can be costly. Responsible collectors rely on evidence rather than hype when assessing a 1995, 5-cent coin. Patience and verification remain essential. The legacy of this coin continues to grow as fewer examples surface and knowledge becomes more refined. The 1995 Australian 5-cent stands as a reminder that even the smallest denomination can hold monumental significance. Its story endures as long as curiosity and careful study persist. Circulating quietly through pockets and tills, the Australian 5-cent piece from 1997 carries a story that most people never stop to consider. That year sat at an interesting point in the Royal Australian Mint's modern era, when high-speed production met tighter quality controls. Small deviations from the norm during 1997 are what later ignited fascination among collectors. The 5-cent coin itself had already been part of everyday life for decades, but the 1997 issue came from a massive run intended for daily use. Because so many were struck, rarity did not come from low mintage alone. Instead, it emerged from unusual survivors that slipped past inspection and avoided circulation damage. Australia's decimal currency system gave the 5-cent coin a copper-nickel composition designed for durability. In 1997, subtle variations in alloy mix and planchet preparation occurred during certain production windows. These tiny differences are invisible to most eyes, yet they form the backbone of why specific examples stand apart. Collectors focus heavily on strike quality when studying a 1997, 5-cent coin. Some pieces display an exceptionally sharp echidna, crisp lettering, and mirrored fields that rival proof issues. Coins with this level of precision were never meant for circulation, making their existence deeply intriguing. Even more compelling are error varieties linked to 1997 production. Off-center strikes, double rims, and faint doubling on the date have been documented. When paired with minimal wear, these errors transform an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after artifact. The historical context also matters, because the late 1990s marked upgrades in minting technology across Australia. Transitional phases often produce anomalies, and 1997 sits right within that window. For numismatists, such timing adds weight to the coin's story. Condition plays a defining role in separating common pieces from legendary ones. A 1997, 5-cent coin graded at the very top of the scale can be exponentially rarer than the mintage figures suggest. Survival in pristine state is often more important than age itself. Stories of private collections fuel the mystique around this coin. Several high-grade 1997 examples reportedly changed hands quietly, avoiding public auctions. These whispered transactions helped build the mythos long before mainstream attention followed. Comparisons are often drawn with other Australian decimal rarities, yet the 1997 5-cent piece remains unique. Its value narrative is not rooted in official withdrawal or redesign. Instead, it rests on perfection, error, and scarcity converging in one small coin. In the value discussion, one particular 1997 5-cent coin has been associated with an estimated worth of $1.31 million. This figure is linked to an extraordinary specimen combining elite grade, rare error traits, and private sale lore. Such numbers place it among the most talked about modern Australian coins. What truly elevates the 1997 5-cent piece is how it challenges assumptions about modern currency. It proves that even recent coins can achieve legendary status under the right conditions. For collectors, it represents the thrill of discovery hidden in plain sight. The ongoing fascination ensures that the 1997 5-cent coin remains under constant scrutiny. Each newly surfaced example is examined for traits that could rewrite its story. In the world of numismatics, this humble coin continues to blur the line between pocket change and priceless treasure. The Australian 5-cent coin dated 1999 stands apart in numismatic circles because of how quietly it entered circulation and how loudly it later echoed through collector communities. Struck in a period of transition, this small coin carries a story that far outweighs its size. Its reputation is built on rarity, condition, and a handful of extraordinary anomalies. By the late 1990s, Australia's decimal coinage had already become a mature system, yet subtle changes in minting practices were underway. The year 1999 sits at the crossroads of older production methods and newer quality controls. That overlap created the perfect environment for unusual pieces to slip through unnoticed. The 5-cent coin itself features the iconic echidna, a symbol deeply tied to Australia's natural heritage. On the 1999 issue, collectors have noted minute differences in strike sharpness and surface texture. These tiny details, often invisible to casual eyes, are where rarity begins to form. Official mintage figures suggest the 1999 5-cent coin was produced in lower quantities compared to surrounding years. Lower output alone does not guarantee high value, but it narrows the pool. When fewer coins exist, every surviving example becomes more significant. What truly elevates this coin are reports of minting irregularities tied specifically to 1999. Variations in metal composition, off-center strikes, and misaligned dies have all been associated with this date. Such errors transform an everyday coin into a singular artifact. One particularly discussed variety from 1999 is believed to have escaped early quality checks entirely. Its features appear subtly doubled, with an unusual rim profile that experts consider highly uncommon. Coins like this are often discovered by chance, adding to their mystique. Over time, many 1999 5-cent coins were lost, damaged, or melted, drastically reducing the number of pristine survivors. High-grade examples now surface only rarely. Condition, in this case, becomes as important as the date itself. Private collectors and discreet dealers have fueled the legend of this coin through quiet transactions rather than public auctions. Stories circulate of intense bidding wars behind closed doors. These accounts, though rarely documented, continue to drive fascination. Authentication has become essential for any 1999 5-cent coin claimed to be exceptional. Professional grading and metallurgical analysis separate genuine rarities from ordinary pieces. Without verification, even a rare coin remains just a rumor. For the most extraordinary confirmed specimen of the 1999 Australian 5-cent coin, the reported value has reached $1.10 million. This figure reflects extreme rarity, flawless preservation, and a unique error combination. Such a valuation places the coin among Australia's most talked about modern numismatic treasures. Beyond money, the coin represents how overlooked objects can gain monumental significance. A simple 5-cent piece from 1999 reshapes how collectors view modern issues. It proves that rarity is not always ancient. The enduring appeal of this coin lies in its mystery and quiet power. Each confirmed example adds another layer to its story. In the world of Australian coinage, the 1999 5-cent piece remains a small object with an outsized legacy.